But I needed help. I was going through so much, as I've said before. So now moving forward, I then decided to be the help that I needed to someone else. Hey guys, welcome back to the Grace Come Viral YouTube channel. This is the channel where we face the truth with love to build healthy families. We do all of that so that we can achieve mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial well-being. So if this is the type of content that you would enjoy, please do subscribe and click your notification bell. What truth are we facing today? The fact that I am obese. Yes guys, that is the truth that I had to face this week. And come to think of it, I've been trying to actually face this truth for the past few months, hence my absence. But finally, I am in a position whereby I've finally accepted that, okay, hey, your girl is obese and she's got to do something about it. However, I had to tread carefully with the solution that I was going to apply. I had to deal with this whole truth with a lot of love. Facing the truth with love required me to sit down with myself and ask myself the hard questions without condemning myself or feeling bad or shaming myself. It's not entirely my fault. However, now that I'm old, it is my responsibility as to what am I going to do about the situation. Just after my parents had divorced, right? One was very sad. I went through a whole lot of emotions, but there was no one to listen to me. There was no one that I could vent to. I didn't understand what was going on. It was just that thing to say, go with the flow, right? Sure. So that on its own was very stressful for your girl. And then we stayed with my aunt. God bless her soul. She did the best that she could, and we appreciate it. However, when it was time to eat, guys, you would get a mountain plate of food. And then you would hear these words, you finish this food or else. So that statement on its own, I mean, yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. Fast forward, we had a stepmother somewhere along the lines. She introduced her own way of cooking for us and giving us food, and it was like, but I don't like this. However, that statement again would arise, you finish this food or else. So I did the most. So all of that, guys, it was building up a whole lot of resentment. I was asking myself the question, but where is my mother? I feel like if she was here, I would be getting the best treatment. She would be doing the most for me. That's me in my thoughts, right? However, I do acknowledge that they did the best that they could as well. Taking care of us, they didn't have to do that, but they did it. So that's why I appreciate them till this very day. But it doesn't negate the fact that it affected my emotions, it affected the way I was seeing myself, it affected the way I built a relationship with food, right? Fast forward, the stepmother is gone. And now it's just us, our dad, and that's it. My dad was hardly ever home, to an extent that my sister and I now had to make a plan for ourselves. Sure, he gave us the money, but now the responsibility was on us to buy groceries. We are not even 13, guys. We were still young. You know, I think I was in grade 5. My sister was in grade 6. Yeah, somewhere there. But that was the reality. And because of that, we used to joke about this with me and my sister to say, if a social worker would come, my dad would have lost us instantly, because we were carrying so much responsibility that a minor child at that, should never even have to worry about. Thank God for my sister. She learned how to cook all on her own. And because of that, I would have a nice meal every time before I go to sleep. So thank you, sis. You're appreciated. So the time came that now we had to stay with my mom. She was done with varsity. She was working. She had a place and we could move in with her. But then that came with its own issues as well, because she's this kind of person that she'll just make sure there's food, you know. So she bought everything and anything. So that again, it was like, okay, there was no way out. There was no escaping this. You've got all these kinds of foods. I'm a child. Besides being a child, I love food, you know, and I used to be ashamed of that. Not anymore. I love food and I just ate everything and anything. It was there. So I did the most. Emotionally, I was still not okay. Spiritually, I was a lost soul. So there was a lot of things that pushed me towards just stuffing myself with food. However, at that time, it became a comfort for me. It became my go-to place. Instead of voicing what I was going through, voicing what I was feeling, I would just sit down and eat my chocolate or ice cream, whatever that was there, and it would somehow make me feel better. That's the reality. But I didn't know that as I was doing that, it was just creating this toxic relationship between me and food. I wasn't using food for its main purpose, which is to heal or to nourish me, right? I was just using it for other purposes. And not only that, but my mom as well, she was emotionally unavailable. She was going through a lot based on her past that I didn't know, but now I know, so I understand. But because of that, it so happened that I was still missing something. I wanted a connection between my parents, and it just wasn't there. And because of that, I filled that void with food. And that's why this toxic relationship just kept on growing and growing. So now it's a mixture of everything. The fact that you were forced to eat a mountain plate filled with food and threatened that if you don't finish it, something's going to happen to you. And then now it's this, you flooded with all these good food, bad food, mixture of everything. You don't even know what's happening. So it is just a whole lot of things that one had to deal with at a very tender age. So I carried all of this into my adulthood because no one could see that me being obese was actually a cry for help. So I had to hear myself. Yes, guys, I heard myself. And when I heard myself and that, okay, girl, we need to do something. At first, I did it in the wrong way because I was doing it for people. I was doing it for the looks. But now it was like, stop. Why are we even doing this? So how am I going to use this truth to build a healthy family? Good question. I love this question because I've got the perfect answer for it, which is my why. Your why is very important for anything and everything that you do. But for me, my why is the fact that, first of all, no one was there to hear this cry, right? Maybe my family did try in the past, I don't know. But I guess they just didn't try hard enough because this is where we are today. And I understand where they're coming from, no disrespect. But I needed help. I was going through so much, as I've said before. So now moving forward, I then decided to be the help that I needed to someone else. Because had it been that someone would have, I don't know, pushed a little harder or asked me what was really going on, maybe, just maybe, I would have opened up and we would have avoided this whole situation. So the reason why I also say this is because of what my mom had said to me. A few weeks or months ago, can't even remember, we went out shopping, right? But prior to that shopping, I had spoken to her. First of all, I prayed about it, that, okay, Lord, there's just something that is going on with our health as a family and we need to do something about it. Then I spoke to her. As I spoke to her, I was like, you need to do something with your weight. You are getting very big and you are hardly fitting into your clothes anymore. You struggle when you have to go up the stairs. We need to do something. And I kept on reminding her when I needed to. Eventually, she got the message. We started talking about it. We started working out together. Literally, as we speak right now, guys, we changed our entire diet. We're eating healthy now as a family. But what she said to me as we were shopping, she said, when you were telling me that I was fat and that we needed to do something about it, it really hurt. It did. That truth that you said to me was hurtful. But I just want to say thank you that you told me the truth, and now I feel good about myself. I'm losing weight. We are getting better and better as a family. That on its own, guys, it hit home, and that for me will forever be my why. Why am I doing this? I am going to continue to be the help that I needed to someone else, even if it's just one person. That's okay. So that is not my only why as to why I'm doing all of this, but I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for any child who is looking up to me, but most importantly, my children. One day, I'm going to be a mother. I want to be a mother, and I had to sit down with myself and ask myself, what will I be teaching my children? Because I never had that stability. I never had, the guidance that I needed. So now it was up to me as to what I was going to do for my children. Not only that, but as I was reading research, guys, I did a lot of research about this. It said that if we don't do anything about this whole issue of obesity entirely, if we continue the way we are living life, being ignorant, being defensive, or just not caring about obesity, in 2030, 3 out of 5 children are going to be obese. That for me was like, okay, I've got to do something. Not just for myself, but for my family and for my children that are still going to come. Hoping that somebody will see this, watch this, and be encouraged to do the same. And that is how I face my truth, with a lot of love, to build healthy families. But in order for me to do all of this, it is honestly the grace of God that is upon my life. Because if I was doing this in my own strength, best believe I was going to fail again. Because before, when I lost weight, I was doing it in my own strength. I never even involved God. I never even prayed about it. It was like, this is just me doing me, because I felt the pressure from varsity life. And because of that, I lost weight. But then when I got back home and I was comfortable, no pressure, I went back to that state. So moving forward, doing this, speaking about obesity, as uncomfortable as it is, it's taking a lot of grace, and it's going to take more grace for me to make it to that phase or stage in my life where I say, I am healthy and I can't wait. So please, once again, can we make that kind of grace go viral? Because I am sure there is someone out there who is obese right now and it's just screaming for help. It's not everyone, of course, but there are people who are just crying out for help, and obesity is something that is just speaking the loudest right now. So can we be of support? Thank you guys, and I love you so much. Before I close, my question to you is, how are you facing your truth, whatever it looks like, with love, to build healthy families? Until then, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.